Hello from TreeNature.com. This is Mark Josie. Today will be a video showing you and doing a review of this big carbon fiber tank here from Omega air cylinder. So as you see, this is a super large size carbon fiber tank, and this is a 75 cubic feet version. There are other size that is similar to this kind of thing on the market, like the Air Venturi 88 cubic feet and whatever, Air Hog, some other brands out there. Okay, this is the brand from Omega, so the same brand as my compressor. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The first thing I realized is, wow, it's light. When it came in the mail, it's light. It's small and it's compact. Look at that. It's very small. It's not like a big tank from the ground and up to here. You know, it's not that kind of size. This is very huggable. You can sleep with the thing. Okay, so it's very, very cute in a way. Okay, for that much air to use, it's cute. And also one thing that you will know is the gauge is very cool. It's not like the normal white and black text, white background. This is actually a black background, so more like an inverse color. Okay, so it's very sharp. Okay, it's a stainless steel gauge and it's very sharp. And right here I actually took a little sword carrying bag to bag it up right here, because I don't want this thing to, you know, fly all the way and dust gets in there. But there you go. Okay, that's what it looks like inside. So basically, let me do a rundown of the thing before you get confused. Okay, so just like a lot of you guys will not even know what this is about, like how it operates. You know, I used to play with paintball tanks, hand pumps, you know, even a compressor. But when I look at this kind of thing right here, I am totally confused. Like, how does it work? You know, okay, just in comparison, this is 75 cubic feet. This is a 90 cubic inch. Okay. This is more like a 16.5 cubic feet tank, if you convert to cubic feet for the volume. Okay, so this is the father, that's the son. So when I look at this, okay, as you can see, I have been hugging it for a long time with one hand already, and it's not really that heavy. Okay, so yeah, this thing, okay, when you look at this, you're like, hey, how does it work? You know, with a paintball tank, usually you have only one in and one out. Okay, so usually you fill these tanks from the side. Right here, you see the fill nipple. There we go. Whoops. Okay, so this is the fill nipple. You fill from here, right? You plug a hose here to the compressor, to whatever air source. You fill that up. Air will only go in from here, and then it goes out from here. Okay, so basically when you turn this knob, air will vent from the tank and up to the top and go like that. Okay, so all these HPA tanks, they work the same way. All these paintball tanks, they work the same way. No matter what size, carbon fiber, aluminum tanks, they all work the same way. Okay, so in the side, out the front, out the top. That's always the same case. But with this new thing in my life, I'm like, okay, so how does it work? You know, first of all, there's only one gauge right here, so you cannot see how much air you have in the tank. And I'm totally confused. Like usually with those, you can see, oh, I still have 3K, oh, I still have 2.8K, you know. You can see the pressure inside the tank. This one you cannot. Okay? There's no meter or gauge around to show you that. Okay? What you have here, okay, is 1, 2, 3, 4, four things. First thing you have is the gauge. Okay, this gauge will read whatever is on top of here and out. Okay, so this is the gauge, the main gauge only. And then the black knob right here, this is rubbery, and it's a very nice texture. This knob is for turning the thing on and off. Okay. Right here on this side, this is what they call the bleed screw. So this is for bleeding the air. And then right here is the DIN valve, D-I-N, DIN valve. And right here, you can plug whatever you want from here and out. Okay, so this is like just a hole there with a DIN threading. Okay, female DIN threading. So you can screw in any kind of whatever, like DIN valve to quick disconnect, DIN valve to whatever. There are a lot of fittings out there that you can buy which can fit into the thing. So right here I have a Ninja fill station fittings. This is a stainless steel hose with a quick disconnect fitting right here. So what I'm going to do right now is show you how much air is inside this tank. And to do that, you need to block everything from flowing outward. Okay, so the thing is, if you turn the tank on with this knob, you unscrew counterclockwise, unscrew. So you back this thing out, and then air from inside the tank will rush up and above this line. Okay, it will rush upward. And then when the air fills up, you read the air pressure right here. Okay, so basically it's only one way in, one way out. Okay, so you open it and it allows air to travel up and out. Or if you want to fill the tank up, you need to open it, fill this up, and then screw this tight again so that it shuts off the opening, and then you can bleed whatever is in the middle. And that's how it works. So it's one way out and one way in. The same in and out is the same way. Okay, so this right here to the fill station, okay, it's where it is going to go in and out. This bleed screw will help you, like when you turn this, it bleeds out the air that is stuck in here. So you will depressurize the system when this knob is shut. Okay, meaning that no air is allowed to go up, but you still have a tiny bit of air on the top and then some air right here. You can bleed those air out and depressurize the system so that the pressure on the gauge is dropped to 0. And now your tank is safe to be stored. Okay, so enough said. Let me demonstrate how to check how much air you have in the tank. So first of all, we got a male plug right here to plug our system. If you don't have that, then you cannot do it. Basically what you need to do is you can use a gauge and then screw a froster fitting and then plug it right here so you can check it. Okay, so basically what you need to do is plug one end right here, plug it, so no air is allowed to get out of this hose right here. Okay, now we're going to screw this screw, we'll screw it tight so no air will go out from this hole and vent. Okay, no air is allowed here, no air is allowed to go out here. Okay, make sure the bleed hole is shut, meaning tighten, and now we'll be using the other hand to unscrew the thing. So you can look at the meter right here. I'm going to unscrew this. Okay, do you see the thing is going up? Right. Okay, you can feel the heat right here already. So that is the pressure, 4.6 K. Now I'm going to shut it, screw it tight, and then bleed. See, I'm bleeding it. After bleeding, you screw this tight again. Now we're done. See, wow, I can feel the rush of air right here. It's very hot all of a sudden, right on my neck. That's kind of freaked me out. But anyway, you see, right now we have 4.6 K pressure inside the tank. Now you check the tank already. See? And so that's how it works. So you basically can check the tank, how much air is inside the tank by doing this. And just screw this, like you unscrew this knob, opens up, and then go whoosh, like that, right here, right to the 4.6 K. Okay, now make sure this is tight. Everything's tight. Okay, let me put this down. Okay, so this is how it works. Maybe you're kind of complicated, like feeling it's kind of complicated, but it's actually not very complicated. And because this thing outputs almost like depends on how much pressure you have inside the tank. When you open the knob, it just whoosh all the air out. Okay, so it's not restricted with this thing here. You can buy a hose with a restrictor that will restrict the airflow to flow slower and maybe like a maximum of whatever psi, and so that it will not overfill your guns. Or else what you have to do is, as you see, it just whoosh, like in a very short time it's go whoosh, and then 4,600 psi whoosh and all the way out. Okay, so it's going to fill up a tank very fast like that, and it is not good. So you need to fill this thing slowly, okay, very slowly, and you have to control that knob. Okay, when you open it just a tiny bit so that it's not doing it too fast, and then when it reaches a point, you tighten that knob back. Okay, so beside that, you can also get a smaller tank like this. This thing has a regulator right here, and it will control the filling to max at 3,000 psi or about 2,900 psi, so you will not fill anything above that level. So you can take this tank, get that big tank, fill up this tank with the big tank, okay, squeeze air from here to this, and then now you can use this to top up your other smaller tanks or PCP guns. And then when this tank is about like 3,000 psi or less, you can take this, put it here, and take this thing and plug it back, and so that it will bring this thing back to 4,500 psi. Now you have air to use again. So basically, one of these tanks will fill those small 13 cubic inch bottles 10 times before you need to take this to refill. Okay, it doesn't mean that all 10 times you are going to have full fill. You will have about 4 times or full fill, like fill to 3,000 psi. And then after that, your tank will still give you air. Okay, so it will still fill to about 2.8, 2.7, you know, that kind of thing, and then it goes lower and lower as you use. But you can still use it. There is still air inside. So if we say that you have 4 full fills on this one, okay, if you have 4 full fills of 13 CI on that tank, this will give you at least 16 to 18 full fills of 14 CI, and then you have a lot of air to use. And so you can say you can use this about 50 to 60 times to fill up your 13 CI tank before you need to refill the thing. Wow, that's a lot of air. Some people are used to seeing the big 80 cubic feet scuba tanks, okay, and then you're like, whoa, that's like from the ground and up to here. That's a big tank, right? Scuba tanks, they are actually not capable of storing air pressurized to 4,500 psi. So they are only topped up at about 3,000 psi, and so they can never top up one of your guns or tank to 3,000 psi. Usually you get like one fill of 3,000 psi, and then it will drop the pressure down on the scuba tank, and then the scuba tank will always just give you the 2,900 psi or so. It will never top up above the 3,000 psi mark. So because of that, scuba tank is not very ideal for paintball players, because they need their tank to fill to 3,000 psi, and you cannot do that with scuba tank. Also, because the pressure is lower on the scuba tank, the amount of air you can have, like you can use from a scuba tank, is much less than these 4,500 psi tank. So carbon fiber tanks, they are lighter weight, they are smaller, more compact, and store more air. To give you an idea, one of these 90 cubic inch carbon fiber tank, these things will, like one of this, is equals to the amount of fill, or even more than the fill you can get from a big 80 cubic feet scuba tanks. So imagine bringing this like this. You can bring it with you behind, you know, on a backpack or something. It's so small, and you can use it all day long. after you get home, you take this, fill that with the big one, and then you're good to go again. So basically that's a lot of air to use. For any paintball players, any PCP hardcore air gunners, I strongly recommend one of these carbon fiber tanks for as a field station. Is way better than a scuba tank. Price, yes, it is more pricey, but then these things will last you a long time, and also they will give you much more air to use, and also they're much lighter weight, and also because they're made of carbon fiber and they're wrapped around with carbon fiber, they're stronger, they're safer, so it's actually better in a way. So that's it for this video. Just trying to show you this thing. Okay, again. So as you can see, this is the Omega 4500 psi 75 cubic feet tank. So after my first day filling this thing up with my compressor, it took me about 5 hours and I forgot 5 hours 30 minutes to top it up from 0 to this 4600 psi. So it took that long for my compressor to top it up. Why did it take so long? Because air in Toronto in the winter is thinner. Like, because we have a very cold temperature and all that stuff, it doesn't help. So because it's so cold, it takes longer to pump, like to get the air packed up inside the thing. If you're living somewhere that is warmer and also not so high rise in like in the top of the building, like if you live in a house or something, it will take shorter time. So usually the average for the USA people to pump the thing up is about 4 hours with the compressor. If you're using this in Toronto in the winter, you know, it takes 5 to 6 hours to fill this up. But then, you know, you don't have to do anything. You just stick the thing onto the compressor and let it run the whole day, and it won't even bother you, and it won't bother your neighbor. It's so quiet. And then after it's done, it will shut off immediately, and there goes the tank of air that you can use for a long time. So basically that's how it works. Okay, so thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and like. Bye bye.